r/AskReddit by Reddit and chill. What's the worst thing your parents caught you doing as a kid? When we were about 6 years old, me and a friend were having a contest seeing who could pee the furthest out the 3rd story window. Some nosy lady from across the street ratted us out to his parents. I still think I won, but we didn't get a chance to check who peed the furthest. Legend. My best friend's mom caught us spanking each other's bare asses. That was fun. Edit. Grammar. That's funny but cool. When I was about 6, I was watching an episode of Pokemon. I had to pee but didn't want to miss anything. So I peed in a trash can. I know that was super clever at the time, but as soon as my mom got home she could smell it, and 21 years later she still remembers. You at least used a trash can. My idiot self thought pads were diapers, and obviously I thought now I can go about my day. As pee descended on it and then obviously overflowed because the pad was soaked, and I ran towards the bathroom trying to make sure I don't make a mess. I made a mess. Running to the toilet while peeing. Did I mention I was? Sorry, I'm an idiot. And that, friends, is how I found out about periods and what the pads are actually used for. Mopping, painting the garage floor with oil, and destroying a waterbed with steak knives. My brother and I were both under the age of 5 when these things happened. He's older than me by about a year and a half and made other horrendous messes before I could start participating in them, including opening all the Kool-Aid packets onto the kitchen floor and emptying an entire can of Crisco onto the bottom few steps in the house. He was bad. Our younger brother is 6 years younger than me and was way worse in the mess department. He threw all my bottles of nail polish all over my room and destroyed most of my stuff, so I wasn't allowed to have any more. He cut up most of our pictures from when we were kids. Remember when you could refill your own ink cartridges at home with a kit? He sprayed a whole pack of that stuff all over the living room, including the ceiling. Ruined the carpet completely. Remember when you could refill your own ink cartridges at home with a kit? Can't you still do this? My mom got 5-year-old me one of those giant novelty suckers that came with a pretty sturdy wooden handle. I decided to test the strength of the stick by pushing it against my bedroom wall as hard as possible. Such a strong stick. Dad walked in just as I poked a 6-inch hole in the drywall. My little sister had fallen asleep with her sucker the day before and got the whole thing stuck in her hair. No more giant suckers. What exactly is a sucker? Not me, but they caught my 3-year-old sister eating chips in a small dark closet at 3 AM. Did I mention she was also naked? We've all been there. Peeing and pooping in odd places. I pooped in my little sister's toy washing machine, and I pooped in the trunk of her toy Barbie Corvette. Also, kids, if you want to blame the dog for peeing on the carpet, you need to make sure it's like a solid puddle instead of loop-de-loops. Rookie mistake. I pissed in the closet one time and my grandpa got down, smelled it, and deduced it was in fact not animal piss, but human piss. I got in trouble. Not me, but my best friend growing up. We found some porno mags in a field behind his house that he took home. When he would take a shower, he would cut out images of the girls, stick them to the inside of the shower and do the deed. Then flush the pic. Eventually he had a porno mag consisting of all men, with the women all cut out. Needless to say, his dad found them and thought he was gay for a few years before talking with him about it. OMG, thanks for the gold, kind stranger. This is hilarious. Not embarrassing, but once when I was in the shower, my 4-year-old yanked the curtain open and asked me why I had hair on my penis. When I tried to tell him that I don't have a penis because I'm female, he asked me if it was my butt. Try explaining that girls don't have front butts or a penis while standing naked in the shower with the door wide open. Finally, I just told him he'd have hair on his butt one day and he cried and ran away. A couple of weeks ago, my 3-year-old came into the bathroom as I was toweling off. She then went and told her mother that she saw dad's vagina peeing into the air vents on the floor. Oh my god. I did this. To this day, I had no idea what led me there. I'm not alone anymore. I wrote beach on my notebook in 1st grade with one of those giant training pencils. Forgot the T, of course. I wrote ass on a handwriting worksheet and tried to convince my parents my teacher wrote it. I was 6 and my logic was that I wouldn't have to do the work. Told my mom I was going into the woods to build a fort. I went into the woods but brought my Game Boy, which I was grounded from, and a supply of batteries. Played Pokemon out there for several hours next to a tree until my mom came out into the woods and found me. Big trouble for me. How old were you? That could have actually been smart. If you had just came in after a couple hours. I used to sleep on the toilet when I was 6 cause my mom forced me out of bed in the morning. Once she caught me and put a towel behind my head, then took a picture. I bought a VHS video camera. Saved up money for so long to buy it from a dirty wee second-hand shop. I came home one day to find my mum had been and still was recording episodes of daytime TV shite. Over my hours and hours and hours of masturbatory action. No words spoken. Ever. When my sister was 3, she was caught hiding behind a trash can eating butter after we specifically told her not to. Specifically as in you mentioned she couldn't do it behind the trash can? Trying to see if my penis was long enough that I could suck it. I understand. Parents would always catch my little sister sucking on Velcro straps on shoes. In the closet. At age 5 I used my dad's shaver on my lips without shaving cream. Don't ask why. I did the same to my chin at around that age. Was supposed to be cleaning. Found my cousin's razor and figured I'd shave. Edited to fix. I heard the funniest story from my friend's mom. Apparently she always loved to get to her mom's purse and empty the content and play with whatever was in there. Her interest was mostly her mom's lipstick and makeup. Like every other little girl. Once when they had just come back from a family trip. She opens the purse and finds a condom. She has no idea what it is. She opens it and thinks it's a balloon and starts blowing it. Mom comes to the room. Condom in her mouth trying to blow it, and she turns around and asks her mom why is the balloon so oily lol. It was obviously lubricated. Her mom snatches the condom off her hands and gets super angry. Gives her a timeout and forbids her from ever touching her purse again. She said it was not until she was in her 20s that she remembered the memory and realized what the balloon was lol. I'm female. When I was 4 my mom caught me trying to sit backwards on the toilet. When I was 37. She walked in my room and found me passed out mid-masturbation with porn playing. She turned off the porn. Thanks mom. Every time when I'm almost passed out after doing it, I hear a giant, loud noise coming from nowhere. It alarms me to get up and clean myself in the most extreme fashion. At this point I'm convinced it is my brain who makes up the noise because he knows he's going to be in trouble if he doesn't. I have a seriously distinct memory of this. Despite being so young. So bear with me. I'd say I was around maybe 3-4 years old. Someone left a turd in the toilet and I remember thinking it looked distinctly pickle shaped. So in my young child mind I thought, hey, a pickle. And went to grab it out of the toilet. I realized it wasn't a pickle when it squished between my fingers and my mom saw the excrement on my hands. She never brought it up to me when I was older however. Even at 3-4 years old. YTF did you think it was a good idea to pick something up out of the toilet? Also. And what color was the shit anyway? When I was 4 my parents were trying to potty train me and they made me go around the house naked from the waist down, so I had to use the toilet. I shit on the floor. Hid it under the couch when my parents walked in and blamed it on the cats. We didn't even have cats. So you made an imaginary point. My dad came down while I was watching Baba Station when I was a kid. In my panic I changed the channel but it landed on a gay version as he walked in. That makes me cringe so hard, but that's still so ducking funny. I was probably 5 when this happened. I was wandering around my house looking for fun when I saw my dad shaving his beard with a razor. I had a crazy idea. When my dad was done with shaving I grabbed it off the counter and ran outside to my pet dog. I started shaving my dog. And when I was halfway through my mom spotted me through the kitchen window. TLDR. I was bored so I grabbed my dad's razor and shaved my dog. And got caught. Edit. Yes. It did grow back but it took 14 full weeks to fully recover. Found weird porn of lookalikes of my fav YouTubers at the time and emailed them to my best friend for laughs. My email was signed into the iPad my parents were using. Sending dirty emails to a stranger I met on Omegle. I was like 12. Pretending to be 16. I thought that was mature. I only got grounded for like 2 weeks. Oh yikes, I've been there. Never got caught but definitely did some dumb shit. When I was 16, my mom told me to stop searching porn on her computer. I said okay and apologized. Then my dad, who overheard, came in after her and said thank you. That bastard. I don't know why, but as a kid I would put my hand in my pants because it felt warm in there, not for any other reason. It happened unintentionally sometimes. One morning I woke up to my parents looking at me concerned. I was confused until I looked down. As you can guess, my hand was in my pants. And I immediately took them out. My parents were crying laughing, but I was so embarrassed. That night my mom gave me the talk. I'm 21 and still do this. IDKY. It's just comfortable. Masturbating doggy style with my back to the door. I was over 18 and already in a relationship with my now husband, but still it's a bummer. My mother just walked in and like 2 seconds later closed the door. 2 seconds is a long time. At least it wasn't your dad? One time my mother walked in on my girlfriend and I having sex to tell me that my father cut his finger off and that they were going to hospital. There was a lot to unpack in that moment. You could fill a TV miniseries with this comment. Mixing toothpaste with water while I was bathing. I was a stupid kid. I tried to kill my younger sibling. It was maybe an accident, but they were convinced that I didn't like him. He is okay and my best friend to this day. Edit. I don't really remember if I had tried or it was an accident. I thought at first maybe it was an accident, then when I really think about it, maybe I really tried to kill him, lol. You shouldn't say I tried to, cause then it seems like you did it on purpose. You should say I almost killed my younger sibling on accident. But my parents were convinced I didn't like him. Luckily he is okay. And now we are very close. I fell asleep watching Latino Lovers. Dad walks in at 3 AM asking me to turn down the TV. Sees naked people. I told him I fell asleep watching an Eddie Murphy movie. He totally believed me, yes. One time my dad was being an ass, yelling at my at the time 4-year-old sister for absolutely no reason, so I pissed in his beer. That was a fun talk. He totally deserved it though. Less of a kid, more of a teen. But my dad walked in my room right after me and my GF got done doing the deed. I was standing, facing the door, cleaning myself up. His only word was wiener, while covering his eyes and shutting the door. Not my parents but my sister's friends. My mom was making me take a bath when I was fully nude. I ran for the door and left to the backyard, and my sister's friends and my sister saw me and I waved at them. I stuck a Danish pastry into the VHS player and melted Lego blocks into the air holes for our furnace. My mother and my father probably wish they never had me at the time. I was an evil baby. I was probably like 5 years old and I was playing outside in the backyard by myself, and things must have gotten crazy because I started kissing on the basketball hoop, the pole, and all of a sudden I hear my mom from the window go, "I can see you." Drinking my little brother's pee from the potty. I was 4. He was 2. I don't understand why I did it. How did it taste? Asking for a friend. One morning my dad caught me sitting on the kitchen counter drinking Hershey's syrup straight out of the can. Growing weed in the backyard. I wanna hear the story. I can't remember how old I was, but I was playing with an arrow, no tip on it, and I had the bright idea to walk up behind my dad while he was working on the mower and crack him in the back of his head with it. This is a depressing story. So when I was a kid, I was around 7. I was really depressed. I'm not sure if I actually had depression or not. So what I did was I wrote on a bookmark, "Even God hates me." My stepdad found it and I got in trouble. Instead of being a loving dad and comforting me about my feelings, I got my ass whooped for being sad. This was one of the things that affected my life. Well, masturbating. Unfortunately more than once. I had a glass door when I lived with my parents. Why the heck do you give a teenage boy a freaking glass door? That sounds like they wanted to invade your privacy. I am a guy. When I was 4, I was caught undressing my sister's Barbie by my mom. In my defense, I don't like the white dress it was wearing, so tried to change it to red spare dress it had, which I liked better. My mom's argument: what are you doing mid playtime? Away from your toys and looking at your sister's Barbie making it naked? I did not win that argument as I blamed the dog mid argument. Lol. LOL WTF is the problem? Ducking like and subscribe.